Hi guys, my name is Graham Foreman from GF International Solutions. I'm a performance psychologist and lifestyle coach and mentor. Among some of the people that I work with, it's Durham University, Northumbria Police, UK Anti-Doping, and a variety of guys in the world of business, education, and sport. What a fun week we have ahead of us coming up. I'm really excited about this week because it's really good. It's all about the Super Bowl. And I've got some fab guests on this week. I'd like to have Patrick Mahomes on and like to have Tom Brady on, but we haven't. We've got the head coach from Durham University. We've got a former NCAA coach. We've got a player. And we potentially could have a member of the Brown staff and also a fellow Weber State Wildcat. Jamie Martin could be joining us for a variety of things to talk about all NFL. It is, of course, the NFL's biggest week this week, the Super Bowl. So the finale of all of the matches that have gone ahead in this really strange world of COVID-19, where we've had fans, we've had a few fans, we've had no fans. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens this Sunday on the Super Bowl. We have, of course, two of the most interesting quarterbacks that the NFL have had for a while in Patrick Mahomes from Kansas City Chiefs, who is the new, I'd like to say the new pretender on the block, but he's not. He's already been there and he's already done it. So his career is already immense and he's done more than other quarterbacks have done in their whole career already. Really, really young, talented, enthusiastic, passionate, fun, outgoing quarterback who can create moments of absolutely amazing opportunities and leads his team really well. And then on the other side, Tom Brady. Tom Brady left New England Patriots after having been there since the draft pick. He's almost as old as me now, is TB12. But again, a phenomenal athlete who's been there, done it, seen it. And, certainly towards the end of his career, having a twilight career in terms of Tom Brady. So I wanted to just have a chat with you guys about how exciting this week is, but also looking at it from a performance psychology point of view. How are these guys going to run their teams, manage their teams, and perform at an optimal state that will, and then maybe make the final decision on who wins this year's Super Bowl. So let's just have a look at these guys. And I wanted to start one with Tom Brady, because TB12 is at the end of his career or towards the end of his career. How long can he go on for? Could this be his last Super Bowl? Well, we had a conversation with the head coach at Durham University this week about who is the best. TB12, known as the GOAT, Mahomes, the next GOAT maybe, or could be better than the GOAT. But I think it comes down to outcomes. When we look about performance sport, we start to talk about the outcome. This Sunday, the Super Bowl, it's not just about the processes. It's not about what happened during the off season. It's not about trades. It's not about draft picks. It's purely about the outcome. And the outcome is one thing. That's the Super Bowl ring. Tom Brady has 6 already. Can he make it 7? Can he make it 7 and with a different team? Playing for the Bucs this year. And they certainly have some weapons. So TB12, what has allowed him to have such longevity in sport? And also, what do you think will be the big difference between this Super Bowl and TB12 and Patrick Mahomes? And I've looked at it from 3 perspectives from a performance psychology point of view. And this could be the difference between who wins the Super Bowl or not. So the first one is pressure. And for me, I think it's perceived pressure. It can't be pressure, can it? Does pressure really exist in the Super Bowl this year amongst these 2 guys? They've been there before. They've been successful. They've done it. So where is the pressure coming from? It's certainly not coming from the football, unless we have a deflate gate as the Pats had a few years ago with TB12. It's not coming from his teammates. They know each other really well. They know who they're playing against. Mahomes, Brady, offensive line, defensive line. They've been around for a while. There's going to be no surprises. The coaching staff, yes, certainly tactics will play a bit of a role. But where is the pressure? Because it's not inside the game. The pressure might not come from the fans this year. The Bucs certainly playing at home, which is unusual, but it won't be full capacity because of COVID-19. So is the pressure coming from the fans? Well, actually, that might change this year. But does that give you pressure? The fact is that there is absolutely nobody in the stadium. There's no big crowds anymore for the Super Bowl. That might change things. So pressure is going to come from intrinsically how you're feeling. Patrick Mahomes, young quarterback, enthusiastic, no pressure for him. He can go out and throw. He's fit, he's healthy, he's got a good arm, he's got a good offensive line, he's got wide receivers, and he's got people who will catch the ball and take the pressure off. He's creative. Last week, a little almost underarm rugby shovel type pass for a touchdown, and he scores points. He puts the numbers on the board. So where's his pressure coming from? It might come from the fact that if he gets behind and TB12 starts to find some range and adds a little bit of pressure, maybe it comes from maybe his own teammates, maybe it comes from the coaching staff. Maybe the pressure is not him, but it's from the people around him. With TB12, where's his pressure? Well, it could be his very last performance at a Super Bowl. Who would ever write Tom Brady off, though, going to the Super Bowl next year? Because that could seriously happen. People have wrote TB12 off at their peril. Whether you're a lover, whether you're a hater, you have to admire what he has done. And he's there again. But the pressure might come internally for him. He might start to think about, wow, this could be my last Super Bowl opportunity. And bearing in mind, he left a franchise that he'd been there in terms of New England Patriots, 6 rings over a long period of time. And it was a free throw of the ball going to the Bucs. Nobody expected them to do this good. He could have just nicely gone to the Buccaneers, slid into semi-retirement, and nobody would have thought anything different. And now he's a legend at 2 clubs, which is amazing. That might add a little bit of pressure from him. Maybe the arm's not feeling as good as it was 10 years ago. Maybe the body's not feeling that good. Maybe no fans will add some pressure. So I think pressure is something that we should certainly have a look at when we're looking at this year's Super Bowl. The next thing I wanted to really have a conversation about is the fact that I think at some stage it will come down to the whole concept of concentration and focus. So who's going to be focused for the length of time for the Super Bowl? Remember, the Super Bowl is no ordinary game. It's got an extended halftime. So they might be sitting down, might stiffen up a little bit, loss of concentration, loss of focus. But I doubt that. These guys have been there before. They know how to focus and concentrate on the big stage at the big moments. Remember, key players make key drives, make key decisions on the big moments. But last week we saw Aaron Rodgers maybe choose the wrong option. Maybe he lost a little bit of focus and concentration there. But who knows? Maybe TB12, maybe Mahomes would have made the same decision under the circumstances. And then the other thing I think we need to have a look at is, in a game like this, it's going to come down to small margins. And that, for me, is about decision-making process. The big players make the right decisions on the big stage more often. And you have 2 of the biggest players in football in TB12 and Patrick Mahomes. So it's going to be interesting to see what wins the Super Bowl this year. Technique, everybody's good. Tactics, yes, coach and staff make a difference. They will make key players that could make a difference. But I also think there's a huge psychology element. And I think the performance mind of these 2 guys could just give one of them the slight edge on Sunday in the Super Bowl. So let me take you through a few other little things I wanted to have a look at, especially with TB12. Now, TB12's always had this different type of mindset that he's always gone on about. The TB12 method, what does it exist in, and what kind of things does he start to talk about? Well, for me, 3 key areas which I picked out. One is staying in the right mindset. So because we work in business, education, and sport, first of all, what is that winning mindset what TB12 talks about? His mindset is going to be different to yours. If you run a business, if you're in education, or actually if you're not at elite sport yet and you're only at performing sport and you want to be an elite athlete, then you have to have a look at that mindset. Define it. What is your mindset? A lot of people that I work with just don't do this well enough. They think that they've got a growth mindset, but actually it's not defined. It's a little bit in terms of pot luck, as I say, okay? It changes from week to week. TB12 talks about having the right mindset and staying in that mindset that is purposeful for him. So have you got your own purposeful mindset that is habitual, that is regular, that you work on, that you practice? And if not, then great, because watching this video allows you to go and do that tomorrow. That's your first port of call. The next thing is staying positive. Now, wow, we've just had COVID-19 over the last nearly 12 months now come and rip all of our worlds from underneath us. So how do you stay positive? Well, that's all right. You can stay positive as long as you're taking slower steps in the right direction. It doesn't have to be these gigantic leaps that maybe you were taking pre-COVID. It might just be some smaller steps. So have those plans in place. What are your small step successes that you achieved today that will allow momentum to carry you forward tomorrow? And my third thing that came out of the TB12 method was staying in the zone. Well, what is that zone? Dead easy from an S&C point of view, from a physical point of view, to measure a percentage of your max, because that's what the S&C guys do all the time, the sports scientists will do all the time. But in a business point of view, in my business concept, what is my zone? If I'm doing something as simple as homeschooling, what is my zone? What is my mindset that will allow me to be successful today? So 3 key areas that I thought I would bring out in terms of TB12's thought processes, in terms of his method. They are maybe 3 of the things that has allowed him some longevity in his career. And bearing in mind, he's now potentially going to win his 7th Super Bowl. Only Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will stop him from doing that. I personally believe his mindset won't. He is in the right mindset that he can win this Super Bowl. He believes in it. Do you believe in what you do? And do you practice those beliefs on a day-to-day basis? One of the things that we do with GF International Solutions with some of our clients is work on a freeze frame technique. Tom Brady talks about this in his book about freeze frame as being an important asset in his mindset, getting him in the right frame of mind, the right flavor, his right positive mindset. So what is a freeze frame technique? Well, here's the way that we work on it, and it's dead simple. So whether you've got a barrier to overcoming something, whether you've got a problem with a person, a situation, whether there's something that's really annoying you, freeze frame is a great way of trying to just change your mindset about that. So here's what it looks like. So for you guys right now, if you want to go through this with me, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, because we're going to just go through a little live example. First of all, take something that's really bugging you right now, some kind of pressure that you might have. It could be homeschooling, it could be working from home, it could be something that simple. It might be something more major in the fact that, you've got a big financial deal coming up, you've got a merger, you could be going through furlough schemes, redundancies. Something like that is really irritating you. It could be as simple as communicating with your spouse in the house. So how do we get on a little bit better, especially if we're in isolation or if we're in shielding? So write that down. There is something really magical about this thought process coming down the arm on a pen and a piece of paper and writing it down, because then it's black and white. And when it's black and white, you have the opportunity to pick the piece of paper and read it. It's tangible. It's there now. And then it becomes a choice. And everything we always talk about is about choices. The choices with this is that once I know it's real and it's black and white, do I continue with the same process, the same mindset? Well, that's my choice, but the outcome's not going to change. Or am I going to do something a little bit different about it? So then what I want you guys to write down about, how is that emotional connection to what you've just written down making you feel right now? And my thoughts are, it will make you feel frustrated and angry. It'll make you feel negative. It'll make you feel like you can't do it. You can't achieve it. You're banging your head against the brick wall. So write that down. Write that emotion down. What we do know is physiologically, then the body is now going to be producing hormones like cortisol and making you feel like, yuck. And you have to get rid of that. But in order to get rid of it, you need to be aware of it. And you need to accept it, because that is the starting point of our freeze frame method. I then want you just to breathe a little bit. So have some deep breaths in and out. The breath is a wonderful thing. We measure it quite regularly in some of our activities with our clients in order for you to see physically what's going on in terms of those physiological changes. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Let those shoulders relax a little bit. Now what I want you to do is when you feel like you just had a little shift in that emotional connection, we're just at a more of a smiling moment, write down how you want to feel about that barrier or that person. And let's put something positive towards it. Yeah, I want to feel a little bit closer to them. I want to feel that I'm engaged with them more. I want to find out what they're thinking about. I want to complete this merger. I want to break the 6-minute 2K erg barrier. We had an athlete, a rower, who hopefully will either be at the Olympics this year or going to the Olympics 2024 in the foreseeable future, that just struggled to get past that 6-minute barrier on the erg. And all of a sudden, the 6 minutes was gigantic. It was massive. That was the barrier. 6 minutes, the number. And the first time he broke that, I think it was something like 5:57, which is a phenomenal break, 5:57, 5:58. So actually he was capable. Ability-wise, he could do that. But 6 minutes was purely the emotional barrier that he'd attached to his erg time. So put something positive next to it. Now all of a sudden you have all of the tools at your disposal. You now need to action the plan. What is your plan? What are you now going to do about it in order to get to that stage? So write down what needs to be done for your action to make you feel better about the situation. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that little freeze frame technique. I also hope you enjoy some of the guests that we have on this week leading up to the NFL's greatest prize, the Super Bowl, this Sunday. If you want any more information, please contact us on info@gfinternationalsolutions.com. We're also available on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We've got a variety of videos, a variety of special guests, from Olympic athletes to professional sports people to people in business and education. Please check us out. Please like, please share, please subscribe. For any more details, please just get in touch with us. We also have our new online programs. Because of COVID-19, we've moved some of our things to online. So some new stuff that you might not be aware of is our business and education programs, either one-to-one or actually is with an organization. We have our G10X program, which is our performance elite athlete program. So for those people who are in the world of elite sports, going to the Olympics, wanting to go to the Olympics, that's where you guys will fit in. For everybody else who are either working in the G10 program or the GT10 program, which is purely for education people. Our sporting life coaching program is all about this mix between life and sport, and using sport as a metaphor to solve some of our issues in life. Very much a life coaching concept, but in the world of sport. And we also have a variety of individual programs around emotional intelligence and leadership. Guys, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed today. We will see you very soon, because this week we've got some phenomenal guests. So please stay tuned and check them out. Thanks, guys.